Hello and welcome to another phone call catch up with the Gaffer. Thanks for your time today. I know you're busy. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Luke, and never too busy for you, mate. Always got time for you, pal.
Thank you. And how was training this morning?
It was good. Yeah, it was light for those who played on Tuesday because they've obviously had a real heavy game on a heavy pitch on Saturday at Oldham, and then a lot of the lads got good minutes again on Tuesday. So it was very light for those who played, but a good blast for the others who maybe haven't had as many minutes recently.
Yeah, just looking back now, obviously it's been a little while since we've done one of these, and we've had some disappointing results. Obviously Scunthorpe at home, and then Notts County obviously getting the loss, struggling really to create many chances in that one.
Yeah, Scunthorpe was a disappointment. That was a real opportunity missed for us, and we felt as a group something a game where we should have played much better. Notts County, I would say less so. I think they're an excellent side. I think in both games, what we've got to remember is the goals we conceded were were individual errors. They were errors in that were of our own making, really. So, we protect and we look after the lads who made the errors because they're committed to us and they want nothing more than success for the club. But we also have to acknowledge that had we not made those, we may well have gone on and got more out of the game in both cases. So Scunthorpe was a disappointment. Notts County less so, because certainly for large parts of it our out of possession work was very good. Had we not conceded that unfortunate goal, then we believe the game would have gone more to plan, and we knew as the game went on and the longer it stayed at 0-0, the more Notts County would have had to open up, because they're doing their best to compete and stay with Wrexham. So we knew that chances would open up for us more in the latter stages of the game if we kept it at 0-0. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to do that, and that allowed them to retain a more controlled shape for a longer period. So there are mitigating circumstances to some degree, but all in all, we want to do better, and that's what we're working to try and do.
Yeah, and we certainly got some better performances against Oldham, obviously with a good win there, and obviously on Tuesday night, sorry, with the game against Barnet, certainly an improved performance, created plenty of chances, just couldn't take them.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyone who's in the know about the league just has to have a look at Oldham's recent form to see what a good result that was and a good performance. They were 4 unbeaten going into our game, and then on Tuesday night they've gone and stuck 4 past a good Dagenham team. So, people shouldn't underestimate that performance and that result, because that sets a marker down of what we're capable of. When you look at the Oldham team 1-11, they've got a very strong team. And to limit them to 0 shots on target within the game, when we're the team who were away from home, was no mean feat. And on another day we'd have scored a couple of goals more. So pleasing performance, pleasing result. And I guess anyone who was at the Barnet game will know how well we've played and how many chances we've created. But that's maybe just adds to the frustration. So. Try that again, toe-to-toe with the form team in the league, and we've created more chances. We've probably created the more clear-cut chances, and again, our own lapses defensively are really what's cost us. But listen, we've got lots to be positive about out of those 2 recent performances, and lots to carry forward. So within the group, we're certainly very positive, and we see green shoots of recovery from what was a very difficult December and January.
And you mentioned it to me after the game. There was obviously some vocal discontent at the Barnet game amongst the fans. How does that affect you and the team?
Yeah, well, personally, it doesn't affect me a great deal, because we're really focused on what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. I think the thing I would question is how helpful is it towards the players, and I think there's different types of football fans, isn't there? There's those who support and try and do their part to help earn the team a result, and within any club, there's also those who are very quick to respond when they're not happy, and very quick to share the disappointment. And there's none more frustrated and disappointed than myself and those within staff and the team when things don't go the way we want them to. But we know there's a good number of fans out there who are right behind us and desperate for the club and the team to succeed. They're desperate for the players to do well for the club, and they're the ones we're really doing it for. If there are a certain section of the crowd want to express the dissatisfaction, then I will certainly defend their right to do that. But I would certainly ask them, how helpful is it during a game, or when we're 15 or 20 minutes into a game, if certain players start to get targeted, I don't think it's going to help us achieve the end goal, which we're all hoping and working so hard for.
And of course, obviously, haven't been helped with a more than our fair share of injuries really this season. Obviously, Matt Warburton, Kean Spence, Luke Summerfield, and obviously more recently Jamie Cook have all been out. Can we have some updates on them, please?
Yeah, listen, I'm not usually one to cite bad luck or good luck. I think you deal with it and you roll with the punches. I think we have experienced an unusual amount of challenges this season, and we're hoping we're off the back of those now. We've started to see Luke Summerfield out running today at training. Kean Spence, we've got a real clear sort of pathway of hopefully recovery for him. It won't be quick, but certainly we're well on our way now into that process. Jamie Cook was out running today, so he's ahead of schedule. So players are keen and eager to recover ASAP and get back and help the team out. But listen, we have faced an awful lot of challenges this season with our ability to roll out the same team in consecutive games, which again, disappointing result on Tuesday against Barnet. But again, I think those who were there and those who know the game will have seen the benefit of us being able to name the same starting 11 for only the second time this season. So those teams who are fighting at the top of the division have very, very few changes to their starting 11, Barnet being one of those teams. But we hope that as we start to get a bit more consistency in player availability, then we will start to see that reflect in performances and results.
Obviously, you boosted the squad a fair bit in January with 4 signings. Obviously, Louis White, who hasn't played too much. Fidel O'Rourke obviously has come on in those last 2 games. But Adam Senior and Max Wright have certainly had a pretty major impact so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm really pleased for them. Go through them individually. Fidel, again, anyone who's seen him will see his qualities immediately. He's quick, he's forward thinking, he wants to get in behind oppositions, and if forward passes go in there early, he will chase them down. I felt for him coming on against Oldham and his first touch being a through ball on that sort of challenging stage of the game with the quality of the pitch there, cutting up, and for anyone who's seen the footage back, just the slightest of bobbles as he goes to strike the ball probably undermined his ability to slot it, because he's certainly very tight technically and will finish those opportunities more often than not. So you get a feel for what he's about. Max as well, he's our type of lad. Good technically, he's hungry. He's got a point to prove. He wants to start ratcheting up the appearances and getting games under his belt, and he's fitting into the system that we're playing particularly well. So he's a real asset, and I'd like to believe that we'll see his fair share of goals as well as he settles in and starts to get in the habit of playing regularly. On top of that, obviously Adam Senior, just a really good young pro. He's clearly got ability, but I'm not sure there's much that will ruffle Adam. He's got a real good attitude, and coming into the Notts County game, which could have been a really daunting and intimidating situation, he came in and acquitted himself fantastically well, and then backed it up at Oldham. So we're delighted with him as an addition, and Louis White, we're just desperate to find an opportunity to get him minutes, because he's such a talented ball playing midfielder. It's about finding the right opportunity to expose him to the level, because clearly it's a step up, and that will bring its own challenges. So we don't want to we don't want to overload him with challenge when he gets his first opportunity. So we're acutely aware of what the lad can offer if we feed him into the team at the right time in the right situation.
And of course, obviously the EFL transfer window is closed, but we can still sign and sell players. Do we have any potential incomings or outgoings you can tell us about?
No, not really. We've still got targets who we would happily bring in if they agreed to come. There are one or two who were in at clubs and getting games in B teams and what have you, who we'd be happy to bring in, but that requires them to be really committed to coming and really helping us achieve what we're trying to achieve over the final stages of the season. But we're certainly not just going to bring anyone else in for the sake of it, because when you look at the gym and the lads who were out running today, coming back from injury, it won't be long before we're very strong again in terms of squad depth and player availability. So any new players coming in have got to be the right ones.
And of course, up next is our trip down south again to Maidenhead United in the FA Trophy last 16.
Yeah, exciting times. I'm hoping it's not like the FA Cup game last year where, actually, it's the result we'll take, but we certainly don't want to concede goals against them. But yes, a difficult place to go. Another team not dissimilar from the likes of Oldham and Barnet in terms of the directness and their athletic ability. They're a threat off set pieces, so we're going to have to be much better than we were against Barnet in terms of defending set pieces. So that a lion's share of the work tomorrow will go into that in preparation for the game, and we've got to make sure that we're absolutely nailed on with our out of possession work, because we've seen that now within this current shape and with the personnel available to us, we're going to create chances, and we should put ourselves in with a great chance of putting some goals away. So making sure that we take care of our own penalty area and defend that particularly well will see us right.
Of course, Louis White and Adam Senior both cup tied, but are there any other selection issues you've got to face?
Yeah, one or two things that we've got to think about that decisions will be made in the next 24 hours. So there may well be a couple of changes, but it won't be too dramatic. I've bemoaned the fact that we've struggled to roll out the same players week in, week out, and I've bemoaned the fact that we're struggling to build partnerships throughout the season. So now we're getting into a position where I can start to do that on a more regular basis. That's certainly something that I want to try and achieve. Make sure that we give players time to build their performances and build the partnerships, so that we can really go into the remaining league games as strong as possible.
And finally, obviously looking ahead now to the rest of the season, you've said before that playoffs are the aim for the team. Is that still the case?
Yeah, absolutely. We realise with every poor result that we faced in recent weeks, it just slips a little bit further away. But like I've mentioned, the personnel we've had available the last couple of weeks, with the adding on to that the personnel who are becoming available to us in the coming weeks, I think we're getting stronger and stronger now, and we might just be the team who's hitting that little bit of good fortune at the right time in terms of player availability and getting our system right and starting to put in performances that deserve positive results. So listen, we're optimistic, and that's exactly what we're working to try and achieve. We've got to remain focused on one game at a time. The focus has got to be making sure that we're putting a performance worthy of a victory at Maidenhead. But the overarching aim is to still try and get this club promoted, and if we can achieve that this season, then that's exactly what we're going to try and do.
Thank you for your time, Gaffer.